Hi everyone, it's me, Teresa Perrin. I want to discuss the reverse split scenario with you. And please let me throw this right out there. There is no notification of a reverse split. I just checked the filings. If we do not get one by tomorrow, guys, then we will not be getting a reverse split because they would have to do this by September 30th, okay? And I don't think that we are going to see one. And I'm going to show you why in this video. But prior to that, I want to state something. A lot of reverse splits lately have been bullish. Very, very bullish. The fact that there's only 120 million shares, right? Essentially, for this stock, potentially another 120 million shares. Potentially, if Hudson has converted all those, maximum would be 220 million shares. Let's say that they did a 15-to-1 split, okay? Oh, let's for sake of math do a 10-to-1. That would bring, instead of 220 million, that would bring it down to 22 million shares, making the float much, much smaller. Shorts would still have to cover, right? But guys, this is the whole thing. I want you to look at Pixie. I want you to look at ATXI. If you haven't already, watch my videos on ATXI. See what's going on with that. That is a reverse split. Look at SYRS, okay? They don't necessarily all drop off. They may initially drop and then get a run. Now, SYRS still hasn't gotten the run that I'm waiting for, but it is trying. It's made a little run, pulled back. I think it's going to have another one. Pets is an example of a reverse split, and it's had runs as well. It's not the end of the world if a reverse split happens. And guys, I can't even believe I'm saying that because last year when reverse splits happened, they were total nightmares, okay? Excella, there's a perfect example of a total nightmare. But guys, it's a different company with a different situation, okay? Our situation, the reason we're all in the stock, at least everyone that I've talked to, is on the potential buyout, which I do believe is happening, okay? Again, nobody has a crystal ball. This is all speculative, but from everything I've seen, I truly believe that that's why this company is doing everything that they've done. It's like the writing is on the wall. I'm a firm believer, or I would not be spending my money in this company if I didn't think this was going to happen, at least not at this point. I think candy's a great product and I think this company has a great future if they don't. But guys, I think the writing's on the wall here, okay? So if a reverse split happens, worst case scenario, they short it down. It doesn't matter. The day-to-day price of your stock does not matter when it comes to the buyout. It doesn't matter whether there's 220 million shares or whether there's 22 million shares or any number you want to throw out there. At the end of the day, guys, they have all, I believe that this is already like set in stone. Everything's done. It's just the paperwork they're doing, the process now, okay? And that being that, whatever price they gave them is a buyout price and it gets divided by the number of shares. So let's say you were going to get $1 at the 220 million share price and they do a 10 for 1, then you would get $10. And I'm just doing that for simple math. I have no idea. If you were going to get $10 at, you know, the 220 million share price per share, then if they did a 10 for 1 split, you would get $100 per share that you own. It's the same thing. It's just math. So I don't even see why people are so nervous about a reverse split. It means nothing. Absolutely nothing. And guess what, guys? If they do announce a reverse split and this thing dumps, then it's an opportunity, if you believe in it, to load the boat. But guys, I can't really see them doing a reverse split right now. And I'm going to show you why. Let's look at the filing, okay? Because I've reviewed this in detail so I can go over it. And guys, September 30th is the date. I was mixing, there's something in that filing with February 28th. As a date in there, and I highlighted it, so when I get to the page I'll show you, and I just crossed them in my brain. It's September 30th, not September 28th. Okay, so take that off the table, and I apologize for that, but it wasn't in front of me, and I read a ton of filings all week long. So sometimes brain fogs if I'm not looking right at it. So let's look at it though together, and let me explain something to you in it. All right, guys, this is just the cover page. This is a big nothing burger as far as telling us anything, except notice up here the date is May 25th if you want to go and find this yourself, or if you want to screenshot it, pause your TV, take a picture, and you can read every word for it yourself, because I'm not going to go over every word for you. And I did highlight the important areas all up in here. But guys, I'm going to go and skip to the last page because it essentially gives it all. But real quick, in this middle paragraph up above the blue split values, which they were all voted in favor for, just so you're aware, okay? So it can be a 1 for 5, 1 for 10, or 1 for 15 if they decide to do this. But guys, there's another reason I don't think they're gonna, not just for the acquisition, but I'm gonna get into that in a second. So, real quick, see right here above this blue area, I have two highlighted. This is the February 28th date, and then right here is the September 30th. So again, it's not September 28th. I apologize. It's September 30th, and here it is right here. And all of this gets summarized very, very well. If they don't, I just highlighted this because the NASDAQ can delist our securities from the exchange, which could limit investors' ability to trade our securities and subject us to additional trading restrictions. Now, I highlighted that, guys, because you need to know the consequences of them not doing a reverse split is that the NASDAQ can put them to the OTC land, like they did to EVFM recently, which is horrible, guys, because that's actually an amazing company that, you know, pretty much got the same crap financing, I'm sure, shorted down. It was very heavily shorted, and they just destroyed that company. But guys, that's a whole video for another thing, because they're going to have bullish news coming out soon, and I haven't given up on that company, even though they're in OTC land. But getting back to this. Now, this highlighted paragraph, listen carefully, because this says a lot. On May 20th, 2022, we received notice from the listing qualification staff of the NASDAQ indicating that based upon the closing bid price of our common stock for the prior 30 consecutive business days, we were not in compliance with the requirement to maintain a minimum bid price of $1 per share for continued listing on NASDAQ, as set forth in NASDAQ listing Rule 5550A2. We will have 180 days from May 20th, 2022, or through November 16th, 2022, to regain compliance. If we do not regain compliance during the compliance period ending November 16th, 2022, then NASDAQ may grant us a second 180-day period to regain compliance, provided we meet the continued listing requirement for market value of publicly held shares and all other initial listing standards for NASDAQ capital markets, other than the minimum closing bid price requirement, and notify NASDAQ of our intent to cure the deficiency. Now, guys, as far as them issuing those shares to Hudson Bay, that could be a benefit. Let's just say that it's going to take longer for this deal to close and they need to regain compliance, yada, 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 right? Because I'm going to give you some other information in just a minute. Well, should that happen, guys, then now they have an additional 100 million shares, which adds market cap, right? Because if they had 100, let's say we were trading at 30 cents, right? And they had 120 million shares at 30 cents. Do the math. What does that give you? 36 million, 3.6 million, whatever it gives you, right? I'm too tired, can't do it in my head. Whatever that is. We'll now add another 100 million. That's going to put them above the NASDAQ listing requirement. So, yeah, it's crappy that happened, but you got to look at the hindsight. It's also a benefit to us, should this need to be extended for whatever reason, which we're going to get into in a minute, okay? So now we have the market cap needed because they can't apply for that 180-day listing requirement, like that extension, if they don't have the proper market cap. Well, guess what? By doing what they just did with Hudson Bay and getting rid of that debt, they just got themselves the market cap as well. Something to think about, okay? So, that being said, they can apply for the extension of 180 days if they need to, okay? So, I don't have any fear in the world if they were to announce a reverse split. It is not the be-all, end-all of anything. An article came out today, and it was cute because I was featured in it, which made my day. But it was talking about this and that how investors were highly speculative on the fact of if they don't reverse split, then that's a sign. Okay, guys. Yes, if they don't reverse split, I think that it's a huge sign that we're getting acquired. But also, I thought about it, and even if we do reverse split, acquisitions take time. Microsoft was bought out. Microsoft bought out Activision Blizzard, ticker ATVI, I think. Go and look at it. It's still trading. And guess what, guys? When this play is done and we all have money again, I'm going to talk to you about another opportunity with ATVI if it's still out there. Because Microsoft agreed to buy them. Okay? And this was back in July, I believe, was the date that this got announced. But it still hasn't happened yet. It's still trading under Activision Blizzard because the whole process takes time, which is why I'm saying, what if they need to do this reverse split in the process to hold that time? Because who knows how long they've been working on this deal, and if it's in the same boat where it could take more time. Now, I don't know if the two deals are the same. I haven't looked deep enough into it to see whether it's an all-cash deal or whatever the case may be. If you know, please comment below. I'd love to hear it because I'm not going to have time to look at this until the earliest this weekend. But I have family coming on Friday, so you won't be hearing much from me on Friday. And I have things that I have to do this weekend, so I'm not even sure I'll get to look at it then. But guys, if you want to do some DD for yourself and go back and look at the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft, because it's still in the works. So for that sake, if this stock still is going to be traded during that time and it's not going to be like an instant cash buyout, whatever the case may be, then they may have to do this reverse split. So I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind. But again, please realize that the price is nothing. And if they shoot the price down, guys, I'll be cheering. I hate to say that. I know some of you don't want to hear that, but that means I can buy more cheap, and so can you. So if you believe that this is happening, or you believe in this company, period, because I have to be perfectly honest with you, with everything that we've learned from Candy, we have an amazing product here, guys. We've gotten rid of our debt. Hello? This is like a dream. Seriously, to get this company this cheap. If you guys don't see that, I don't know how to help you. And insiders are buying it at 40 cents. Institutions own it at $2.50 or 95 cents or whatever it is, guys. You can go back and look at those filings too and see that for yourselves, what they bought it at. And they haven't sold it. They know the value of Candy. They know the value of this company. I want you to really think about that. Because I don't think a lot of you realize what you own. And I know that there's a lot of fear. Yes, I'm sure that we've all been through it this year. The market stinks, right? There's been a lot of losses, especially in stocks that retail is heavily invested in. I get it. I get where you guys are coming from. But guys, I really believe there's a lot of money to be made in this play, or I wouldn't be telling you this, okay? I promise you that. I wouldn't be making a million videos. I might make one or two, or I might bring something out that comes to my attention, but I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying if I didn't truly believe in it. Guys, I believe in it. I think we can all do very, very well here. All right, that's it. Want to get this out there so you guys can see it tonight. And thank you so much for watching. Please hit that like button. I'd greatly appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody.